Hey guys, NCS Fan 001 here, welcome to the weekly trophy list update type video. So this will be going up on April Fool's Day, and I can assure you that nothing on here is going to be much of a joke. At least I don't think it will be, at least it won't be intentionally. So anyway, this will of course be covering the week of March 25th through 31st, and it's being recorded on Sunday the 31st as always. So, I had a number of games played this week. First off, I finished the South Park Fractured Butthole Final DLC. Because that game, for those who don't know, has 3 DLC packs. It has the Danger Deck, which isn't really an actual level pack. It's just a bunch of combat scenarios that I wasn't interested in. And then 2 actual story DLCs, but no trophies for any of it. You just have to... There's no DLC trophies whatsoever for the game. The DLCs are okay, but they're really short, so they aren't worth picking up at all unless you get them for extremely cheap or huge fan of the show and stuff like that, because they don't have trophies, so they aren't really as worth it. So I finally finished that and crossed that off my list. And then I played like maybe an hour of Fallout 76 this week, grinding the Fosnocht event at the very beginning of the week. And I actually need to go log into Destiny 2 as soon as I finish this video, so I can go check what is going on with Xur this week, see what he's selling, see if I can pick up a new legend or exotic from Forsaken. So, first and foremost, I have 100%ed Watch Dogs 2. I'm very happy about that. So the Watch Dogs 2 Platinum is like a 2.5 out of 10 in difficulty. It requires a little bit of luck for a few trophies, but I did it all the way back in the beginning of 2017. And then there comes the DLCs. Now, Showdown, you have to win 4 consecutive matches. It's very easy if you boost it. You can get into a group like you and a partner and then get 2 other people that are boosting together as well. Separate your 4 people into 2 teams of 2 and keep searching Showdown until you eventually get in a match together, because once you're in a match together, you stay with the same people unless you quit, or unless someone in the group quits, so it's very, very easy to boost in about an hour once you get together. But I actually did this one legit. I had a guy basically carried me through it when I was just messing around in the game mode to see what I could do and try to do it with the old quit out if you're going to lose method, which I'm not sure still works. But I did that almost a year ago. The other 2 DLCs are Human Conditions and No Compromise, so... The previous week, I finished these first 3 operations, which are just sort of typical Watch Dogs operations, and there's nothing too difficult or time-consuming or anything like that about these 3, and they aren't terrible, they aren't great, but they aren't anything, like, bad by any means. This, though, off the hook, is pretty annoying, because it requires you to finish the operation off the hook, which first of all is an online operation. Now, you can do it solo, and I would personally recommend turning off your internet while you do this one, just to make sure you don't run into any issues, because a lot of people will have problems where the progress won't track properly when people jump in and out of matches online. And then there's different beliefs onto exactly what you have to do this. Some people say it's finish around 12 or 13 operations or 12 or 13 missions as part of this operation, because this is a repeating operation that spawns 9 individual missions, and 2 of them will pop up at a time when you select this operation from the pause menu, or not the pause menu, but your phone, and it'll give you a choice between 2 of them. It's completely random, and there's 9 total. And some people say that once you do about 12, 13, 14 of them, of any of them, that's how you unlock the final mission, which finishes the operation and gets the trophy. Others say you have to finish each operation or each mission type once, and that'll automatically unlock it, but that does not automatically unlock it, because I know I did that and it didn't work unless one of them just didn't count somewhere. So I'm not 100% sure. I would suggest try to finish all 9 different missions over time, and once you do around, 10 to 15 of them, the last mission should show up, especially if you've already done each mission type at least once. You can quit out of the game and jump back in to change the missions that you get, which is good. But these are these are really annoying operations too. Like, none of them are very well designed. They're all virtually identical in different they're 4 different objectives spread out between all the different mission types. It's like either are delivering a vehicle somewhere, blowing up 3 things, hacking something, Yeah, that's pretty much all your different objectives. It's nothing really that special or interesting. And it's a very, very annoying operation. That operation alone took probably 5 hours just because jumping in and out of the missions to try to get them the correct ones to spawn when I thought that was the thing you had to do, and apparently maybe it's not. So, yeah. This one, though, is extremely easy. This one takes about an hour. It's offline, and it only takes about an hour. Very, very easy. I did it on stream, actually, because, like, the first 2 missions are traditional Watch Dogs 2 gameplay for the most part, but they're very easy. The third one would be difficult, except that if you have the upgrade for your vehicles, like your quadcopter and your remote car, that can drop bombs, that makes it significantly easier because it tasks you with destroying like 5 heavily guarded vehicles or supply stashes, but you can just drop bombs on them from your vehicles and do it very quickly. So pretty simple overall operation. This one was definitely more fun, but of course very, very easy, so that was kind of nice. And then, yeah, that's it for Watch Dogs 2. Finally have it to 100%. Very, very happy about that. Never have to touch the game again. It was just, I didn't do it for so long because the DLC is so expensive usually. It's, the season pass is $40 still, and the 2 trophy DLCs, the No Compromise and Human Conditions, together are $25, which is kind of ridiculous. So definitely wait for stuff to go on sale for that because it's not worth that much money. Tetras Escape. This was one of my 2 easy platinums of the week. I just decided to go through a couple of my EU games. This is the European PS4 version of the game, and it's a pretty easy game, especially if you follow a guide. It's a neat little puzzle game. It's a Ratalaika game. You have to complete the first 6 worlds. I think there's 8 total, but you only have to get half of the stars and cups. In the game, there are 3 stars in each level, and once you collect the 3 stars, then a cup will appear, so you have to do half of all that, and that's pretty easy as long as you're looking at a guide on how to do it, and a lot of them you can do, like, really without a lot of help. Some of the levels will probably help out a lot to have a guide, just because a few of them can be a little complicated with some of the ways the puzzles work. You have to save a total of 200 tetras and walk a total of 2,500 blocks. Both of these are going to be a little bit grindy right at the end of the game because it's unlikely you'll get all the way to 200 saved and 2,500 blocks. There's a good level, though, that you can replay in, I think, World 2 to grind out both of those without a whole lot of issues. This is story-related or completion-related, so it's unmissable. This one, there aren't a lot of levels you can do it on. I did it on something in World 1. This one's very easy. This one is pretty easy. I think you do it on like one of the later levels. And this one is also pretty easy in like a specific level. So, very easy platinum. It's like a 1.5 out of 10 in difficulty. It can be done in under an hour. It can probably be done in under 45 minutes if you know what you're doing. Then I did Blackwood Crossing. This is the EU PS4 version of Blackwood Crossing. It doesn't have a Vita version. It's just PS4 and EU and a North American. Now, I did the North American version like over a year ago, and I didn't mind it. I thought it was an okay game, and it was a nice, easy platinum. This version, not so much. I was not a fan of the EU version. I had a lot of issues with this, because I had one trophy midway through the game glitch out on me, and I'll show that to you guys if I can find it. This one, I interacted with the tombstone, and I thought the trophy had unlocked, but when I went back and looked at my list, for some reason it didn't pop. So I had to go back and replay the entire first half of the game a second time to get this trophy, which that pissed me off to some degree. But the other issue I had was just that there are certain areas where you have to talk to different characters, and half the time, if you don't talk to them in a very specific order, the game just won't let you progress any further, and you have to quit to basically restart the checkpoint. So, I don't know if I was just missing something obvious with it, or if it's actually like a glitch in the game, but this version of it was not a good experience, and it took me almost 3 hours to do when it's an hour-and-a-half long platinum, so was not too happy about that. But this is a miscellaneous trophy right from the beginning of the game that requires you to play some Simon Says. It's pretty easy, though. Then you have some story trophies. These two are based on a decision you make midway through the game, but luckily once you make one decision and the trophy unlocks, before you progress the game, you can pause and quit and restart that section and get the other trophy. So that makes that much easier. That's story related. This is where you get into some of the miscellaneous trophies. This is a miscellaneous one, but easy, and this game has a lot of gold trophies. This is a collectible type. There's like 7 posters, or maybe 9. I think there's 9 posters and 7 bunny rabbits you have to collect. Miscellaneous trophies, usually revolving around inspecting a certain item, find the 7 bunny rabbits, just other various miscellaneous trophies, nothing which is difficult as long as you're looking at a guide. So yeah, it's an easy platinum, but it is kind of bad when it comes to being glitchy. At least it was for me, maybe not for anyone else. And finally, the other game I've been working on is called Last Rebellion. Now, funny story, I have literally had this in my Gamefly queue for about 3 years, but it's always been farther down and I kind of forgot about it, or it wasn't in stock at the time. And finally getting around to playing it. It's a pretty easy turn-based RPG on the PS3. I think it has both the North American and a Japanese version, or just in anywhere but Japan and Japan versions. It's a pretty easy turn-based RPG once you learn how the game works. There's basically a combo system in it, and if you attack your target in a specific order, like you target their different body parts in a specific order, each enemy type has a specific order, and if you do that for the enemy types, you can defeat them much more easily, as well as get huge amounts of XP to become very stupidly overpowered for a majority of the game. There will be a few times where you end up being pretty evenly matched. A couple of the boss fights, probably the first optional boss fight, is going to end up being a little bit more troublesome, and a couple of the story bosses, but not many, if any, depending on how high leveled you are. But this game only has 19 trophies, and every trophy is earned from defeating a boss. These first 4 trophies are earned by defeating 4 of the 8 optional bosses, as are these 4, and this one is for beating the game. The optional bosses are unlocked by accessing all the different mirrors in the game, which are basically fast travel points, which you should be doing anyway. It makes the game easier, and that's how you access the last mirror that takes you to an arena where you fight the optional bosses. Unfortunately, the optional bosses are randomized. Like, one will spawn each time you're in there, and then like a minute after you kill one, a new one will spawn in the battle room, but you never know which one it'll be. And there's 4 total for each of the 2 characters that you have to get, so it's a little bit luck-based, and you'll end up having to fight the same ones over and over again a few times to get all 4 of them to spawn. So not a big fan of stuff like that, but they're at least... Once you beat your first one, it'll probably up your XP so much that you'll go up like at least 3 levels or so in there, even if you're already level 50. So it'll up your XP a lot and make subsequent fights against them a lot easier. But it's a pretty easy overall fighting game. All I have left are those other 4 optional bosses, which shouldn't take too long unless I just get really, really bad luck. And then the final boss, which I don't think is going to be too bad because I know I'm highly overpowered. So probably about an hour away from platinuming this game. All the other trophies are just bosses throughout the game. It's not a bad game, but it's not really anything that good. It is also one of those games where a lot of your trophies will be unlocked sort of at the last minute. So, with that, level 64, 80%, 16,112 total trophies, 367 platinums, 2,030 golds, 4,101 silvers, 9,614 bronzes. So, for the upcoming week... I don't really know yet what I'm going to be working on. I mean, I'm going to finish up Last Rebellion, no doubt. I'm going to have that done within the next couple days because that's a pretty easy, quick platinum. It's like I could see it being done in as little as like 6 to 8 hours, but it's probably, unless you're really following like a walkthrough as to exactly where to go, because it can get a little confusing at times, it's probably going to take you more like 10 hours. I think I'm closing in on like 10 hours, which is fine. It's still pretty short, so it's not a big deal. So I'll be finishing that up, and then maybe jump into some Fallout 76. Like I said, I'm gonna jump into Destiny 2 after this so I can check out what Xur's selling this week. But otherwise, I'm not really sure what I'm gonna play. I do still have Black Ops 1 in the backlog. Unfortunately, I can never get the boosting group to work out, so I need to find reliable people to boost it with, and at least do the Call of the Dead and Moon trophies, because those only require 2 people. Shangri-La requires all 4, but I could make a different session for that. I guess at the absolute very least, it's not that big a deal because none of the trophies are true online, meaning that even if the servers go down, as long as I have other people to play the game with, I could eventually do it. So that is a good thing, but that's obviously not the way I want things to go, or at least, I mean, I wouldn't mind doing it for Call of the Dead or Moon, but Shangri-La, I'm not getting a 4-person group together in real life to do that. It's just not going to happen. I don't think I have enough people that are friends that would be interested in something like that. But that's one game I want to get started on, or just want to get done because it's just those like 6 or 7 remaining trophies. I want to finish off the Division with survival mode. I think I'm going to make a session on PSN Profiles and just beg for someone to carry me through it. Because I don't need all 100 items. I've done at least a few, but I'm just going to beg for someone to just carry me through survival mode because I can't stand it and I suck at it and just have really bad luck with it. So just get someone to carry me through it so I can eventually get that to 100% and finally be done with the Division. I'm not getting the Division 2, by the way. I'm just not really interested enough at this point in time. I am probably going to pick up Days Gone, though, and that's coming out in just a couple weeks. But I actually probably will pick that one up because it looks like it's going to be fun. And from what I heard, the leaked trophy list is super easy as well. The other 2 games I want to work on between now and the end of May that are not like Gamefly or just random games like I have on here, are Battlefield 3. I want to go back and work on that. A lot of the DLC trophies are super easy, so it wouldn't be bad to go back and get some of that done, but I know the multiplayer is going to take a while, so I wouldn't mind maybe getting started on that. And then Resident Evil 5 on PS4, I've bumped up to be a next game to do because the PS4 version, the 100% is a lot easier because you only have to do half as much in the versus mode. And because one of the trophies from Versus for like purchasing everything is significantly easier in the PS4 version. So I think that would take between 5 and 10 hours to boost everything. So could probably get that knocked out in a weekend if I find a group to do it with. So that would be a good one to get done. I don't know when I'm going to get done with the PS3 version because it takes way longer. And because I'm still missing like a couple other DLC trophies along with those. But we'll see when I eventually get around to that. And then during the summer, of course, I want to work on Far Cry 2, Uncharted 2, and Red Dead 1. And this is all in addition to other games I go back to over time. I know that we're supposed to get a Just Cause 4 first DLC in the near future. At least we're supposed to. I still haven't really heard that much about it. I didn't buy the season pass or anything, so I'm not getting screwed out any money if we don't get it or something. But yeah, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this update. Now, as an additional update for the channel, I am, like, the end of this week and next week is going to be a little bit weird because I'm not actually going to be around at all next week. I'm going on a cruise for the first time ever in my life. Me and my parents are going, and I'm really looking forward to that. I'm going to record some videos on my new camera. And definitely going to enjoy that. I'm not going to bring my laptop with me, though, or obviously not going to have, like, my PS4 or anything. I'm going to take my Switch for the flight down to where we're embarking from. But really, really looking forward to that, and I'll get some vlogs out. But it means that I won't be, doing really any gaming or anything during that time, unless it's a little bit on my Switch or something. And it also means that not this coming week, but the week after, so the week of like the 8th, there will be no streaming, but I'll have some videos pre-recorded to go up during that week, so they'll just be most likely Platinum Trophy videos, and maybe another Fallout food video. I'm getting prepared to make the next one of those. And then this week, though, I think that I'm leaving to go to that area where the cruise is going to start at. I think I'm leaving on Sunday morning, the plane flight on Sunday morning, so I should still be able to do the drunk stream this week, which is good. Like I said, I don't really know what trophies are going to be played this coming week, but we will see. So, hope you guys enjoyed this update, got it out to a solid 20 minutes, and see you guys in 2 weeks for another trophy update. So, see you guys then.